Okay, we're back. I'm not sure what the fuck that was. That's a
Some
new.
audio technical difficulties.
That's a fun new thing we've experienced on the GFL Weekly Prewind. But good evening, fantasy foot boys and girls. Welcome back to the GFL Weekly Prewind, where we look back forward at the GFL. I have my co-host, my trusty co-host, the league statistician, and the manager of the Schmidt Show, Coach Schmidt. Hello, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I didn't know if I was going to get another invite.
You're invited every week. I don't know why you would say it like that, as if like I'm some sort of dictator that rules this league with an iron fist. And if
I'm not
anybody makes the wrong move, I will execute them publicly.
I, I'm not using Copilot to generate, pictures of you as a dictator. I promise.
Huh. The way you said that makes me think maybe you are. But, anyways, what do we do in this show? We look at some results from week 9. And we're going to start with one of the 27 4 and 5 teams in the league getting a win. Cooter's Crew taking down Ditka in a box. Down week for Ditka in a box, who had previously been one of the higher scoring teams in the league. It still is the top half of the league, but probably their lowest score of the year by far. Blowout victory for Cooter's Crew. Drunk Santa coming up just a bit short of that high score. Bad luck for new and improved Jungle Humpers, who get their 4th loss of the season despite a solid game. Drunk Santa putting up over 140 points. Patty Cakes continues to wallow towards the bottom half of the league. They fall to the Schmidt Show. Finally getting some good luck, I would say, moving to 5 and 4. How does it feel to get
Yep.
your 5th win of the season, just one game back of first and second place?
Kind of wild that I'm only one game back. We're kind of mid-season right now, but with that, with the 27 other teams that are 4 and 5, my positioning could slip very easily. Like anyone's a contender at this point.
You're both in the playoffs and in last place right now. That's how it feels
It's
for a lot of
it's
teams.
Schrodinger's playoffs.
um, Robo Pearson continues a pretty solid season with a win over the first place Timken Terrors, um, who also had some bad luck. They were one of the top half scorers this week, but they get the loss, their 3rd loss of the year, but still first place. Ain't No Wag remains in the playoff hunt with a big time win over Boner and Sweatpants, who gets their 3rd loss of the season. And then high score, it feels good. I'm just going to say that now. It feels good to not only get the high score, but the only other team to win a championship the last couple of years, Doobie Ashtray, handing them their 5th loss of the season. Now both teams 4 and 5 after both teams started 0 and 4, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So both teams started 0 and 4, now both in playoff contention. I did not think I would get back into playoff contention, but here we are. Will I
So
fumble the bag? Maybe.
possibly. Given that your start of the season was, 0 and 4, um, how do you feel now about your playoff chances with the moves you've made and going forward?
You know what? When starting 0 and 4 felt bad. Um, it felt earned. I had a bad draft. I wasn't happy with my team, but I did say I was going to keep grinding, and I've been working that waiver wire like I always do. I would be curious.
Yeah.
I've made 44 moves this season. Out of curiosity, I'm going to look and see how many moves I made last season. Last year, I made 34 moves. So I've already outpaced myself by
Yeah.
10 and we're just a little past halfway through the season. So it's taken a little bit of finagling, a little bit of luck, and some trades and some waiver wire work. I still don't think I have a great team, but I'm happier now. I feel like I'm playing with house money because I had almost given up on the
Yeah.
season. Um, so it just feels good. Honestly, it feels um, a little more satisfying than like having a really strong start to the season because I feel like I've had to work for it a little more.
That's fair. Yeah, because like what was this, last year had an excellent start, to the season, and just pissed it away after like week 3 or 4. And after Dak went down, it was just like trying to scramble to keep players in, and so it was a little crushing. So I think starting 0-4 and then working your way back up, and you're definitely in the mix with our other 26 teams that are in five.
Yeah,
So
and especially this year, I feel like going to 12 teams and everybody has fully realized how valuable the quarterback is in the Superflex. It is fucking death trying to find help at quarterback because
yeah,
every single starting quarterback is rostered. Um, and now my roster is inundated with multiple shitty quarterbacks, and then one decent quarterback in Seattle's quarterback, Sam Darnold. But anyways,
just like
enough about me.
just this just this past week, I picked up Jacoby Brissett, which was a good move,
Who
and
would have
that
thought
might be
Jacoby Brissett would have been an asset for you in Week 9?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I was going into Monday night with like needing to get 40 some points and to get the pull ahead, and Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride made it happen. I was just trying to stack and
I
go
think
for that
Trey
dub.
McBride has put up quite good numbers with him at quarterback, so that might be a sneaky stack for the Schmidt show.
The it's worked this week, and Jacoby Brissett has had some excellent games, and it's kind of the question of whether Kyler Murray is going to be worthwhile when he gets back, or what that looks like. And I'm kind of doubling up because I'm also sitting on Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. Like just
If
whoever is in that
yeah,
week.
if they continue to win, I don't think they go back to Kyler. I do think the Cardinals kind of ruined him, and he's kind of like toast now. But at one point, he was a good
Yeah,
quarterback. It's funny. I almost tried to trade for Kyler last week. I was like, maybe I can get him on the cheap. I am desperate for
right.
quarterback. Glad I didn't. It's been a season of trades I'm glad I didn't make. Like in trades I'm glad I did make, like the Jaden Daniels trade. It
Yeah,
looked like for a couple weeks that I had made a really stupid trade, but I was desperate, and then suddenly he's out, and Sam Darnold looks okay. Sometimes you
yeah.
just get lucky. That's half of fantasy football is luck. So that's 8 different teams have recorded high scores this year. Definitely more than last year. It is 12 teams. How many do you think we'll end up with? Considering how balanced the league has been this year, when we look at the stat sheet, um, I'd be curious to see if some of the other teams.
S- So Boner and Sweatpants hasn't locked down a high score, but
And he's in second place.
definitely could. hmm let's see. Doobie Ashtray hasn't. Sorry, not gonna vote you in as a one for that. Patty Cakes, New and Improved Jungle Humpers, I think has a shot, and then
Yeah, they've been
our
solid
last
all year.
one. Oh, yeah.
Looking at the standings, well, we'll
Patty
get to the
Cakes, New
standings.
and Improved, Doobie Ashtray, and Boner and Sweatpants are the four that haven't. I'm gonna go ooh, 9 or 10, and I'm kind of debating 9.5.
That's the over under. I'm going to take the over. I think 10 will get it, which is insane. Which,
Yeah,
parity. I think it's good for the league. Everybody's still in it. Everybody's
I
still
agree.
engaged. Nobody's checked out. And if they do, I'm just going to dump your roster on the waiver wire. Um,
Let me type that into Copilot.
Pre-gret of the week. This week I went with a quarterback that has been dog shit all year. I went with Geno Smith sitting on the bench of Boner and Sweatpants while Jordan Love got spanked by Carolina of all teams. Underrated defense, maybe. He got him 9 points. Otherwise, he's got Geno Smith on the bench with 26. Would have gotten him the win. DK Metcalf putting up 1.6 points doesn't help him. Putting in Jordan Addison or Aaron Jones, that would have also helped. Instead, he falls to Ain't No Wag, who's riding on that Michael Penix high.
Hell yeah.
That's the pre-gret of the week. Pre-gret of the week is I'm sure I've explained that to the new people, but it's the regret. The players sitting on your bench that you regretted not playing. Shit stat of the week. So not to talk about myself some more, I recorded the high score this week, my first of the year. Despite the efforts of 5 of my players: Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Trevion Henderson. New England defense combined for 26.58 points. The other 4 players on my roster combined for 120.10. It's nice to have Brock Bowers back. He just comes back and says, I'll give you 40 points, whatever. And those 4 players on their own would have defeated 7 other teams in the league this week. So my question is, for you, do you think that the fluke for me? It feels fluky when you have all those points bottlenecking to just a couple of players. Lack of balance.
Maybe fluky for the high score of the week, but I wouldn't say fluky for a good team roster. Even if they aren't cranking out, their hog like at 30 points a week, but they're probably going to be producing at least as expected or, maybe a little over. So fluky for another high score, maybe, where they all the dominoes fall at the same time. But I wouldn't say as a fluke for getting another win.
Only really truly elite players can crank their hog at 30 points per week, in my opinion.
Joe Flacco went for over 30 this last week.
He's been cranking that hog for 30 a week for a long time. Wonder if he could still get it up. Standings. Let's look at the standings. As we said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's half of the league at 4 and 5. One of those teams, Drunk Santa, second highest scoring team in the league, sitting at 4 and 5, just inside the playoffs at the moment. When you look at points against, you can see where the luck comes into it. Boner and Sweatpants, middle of the pack in scoring, but fewest points against this season. But Patty Cakes all alone at 3 and 6 now, bottom of the league. Ain't No Wag, 11th place, but a game out of the playoffs. So
yeah,
nobody's is throwing in the towel at this point. Robo Pearson, 5th spot. Schmidt Show, 4th spot. New and improved Jungle Humpers, as we said, solid season all around with that 3 spot. Those are all 3 5 and 4 teams. And then Timken Terrors, they ever consistent number 1 seed at the moment. And then, as I mentioned before, Boner and Sweatpants, the number 2. Stick with it, everybody. It's going to be exciting race to the playoffs. Anything you want to add to the standings or our conversation about the standings?
Nothing to the standings. It's just been a really interesting week for my fan fiction.
Oh. Can you give us more information about that?
Yeah, so I run a little comic, if you will, and with the events that happened this week, it just just has been pretty intense. I don't know if you can see that picture that I added to the screen.
Let's see here. Oh, uh, looks like Jesus and Dick Cheney, maybe.
Yeah, as Force Ghosts, they're really
Huh.
they're kind of the drivers of the series. I know this has nothing to do with fantasy football, but
And I'm noticing Jesus has the red lightsaber. Was that just uh, AI decided to do that?
read the entire thing. Don't just read into the fact that he has a red lightsaber right now. I don't.
Oh,
You have to go back to the origin stories of JC
H-
and DC.
how do I do that? How do I go back?
I'll send you the link.
Oh, okay. It's probably is it safe for the stream?
No.
Well, I'll review it later and then fill everyone in. But thank you for that insight into your fucked up mind. Um, Matchup of the week. This week, for some reason, it's rivalry week. I think I can set which week is rivalry week, and I just don't, and it just defaults to one of the weeks. Um, I don't consider many of these teams to be rivals. Maybe you and Jacob, I would consider you
I know.
two rivals.
Very much
Um,
so.
yeah, the rest of it, I don't get it. But I'm going with the one versus two. It's kind of obvious, but Timken Terrors versus Boner and Sweatpants. The most compelling thing here is they're both of their best players, Jamar Chase, C.D. Lamb, on bye. So it'll
Yeah.
be, a battle of how's your depth? How's the rest of your roster? Timken Terrors, I feel like, they have the highest scoring team, and they have been very resourceful in playing the waiver wire, starting the right guys. But Jamar Chase is kind of a cheat code when you're able to just put in 20 to, pen in 20 to 30 points. And so then you just try to stabilize the rest of your roster. He doesn't have that this week. How will he fare? Who do you think's going to win this?
Man, I like Timken because always is throwing up big points. Like just as you said, consistent in doing that. Let's see. I
Looks like
think
he
if
might
Boner and
have Bucky
Sweatpants keeps
Irving
Jordan
back.
Love in, uh, still at questionable, but is practicing. So that's a. I think Harold
And
Fannin going over the Jets. It's a good move. I think Josh Allen going over Miami. It's going to be uh, that could be
I would be
that
curious
could
the
be some
last
damage.
time someone started two tight ends. So potentially Gadsden and Fannin Jr. going for
Yeah,
Timken Terrors. That's how the cutthroat it's been for quarterbacks this year. Um, I Drake May is a guy that I was definitely targeting like middle rounds, and I think that's another guy who has helped stabilize his roster. 20 points every week,
yeah.
automatic for Drake May. He will be a staple on that roster. I think even though he has had the most consistent scoring team, I think Boner and Sweatpants might take it this week when you eliminate Jamar Chase. But I
Yeah.
think the key will be, does Saquon Barkley play and how effective is he versus Green Bay, who's been good against running backs this year?
They've been wicked on the stop of the run game.
It'll be interesting. Well, that's everything we have this week. Go read Coach Schmidt's comic. I don't know where you can find it. I don't know what it is. I don't even think it's real. AI art is not real art. I just want to reiterate that. But I do thank you for sharing that with us all. And God bless you all. Have a fantasy day, fantasy football day. I don't remember how I